Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thousands of memories are created and captured in each photo taken on your magical vacation. We proudly present Capturing Magic, where we help those moments live on forever.
Hey everyone, welcome to Capturing Magic, where we are using technology to create and capture magic memories. This is episode 18, recorded on Monday, February 11th, 2013. You can find more tips, tools, and notes for this show at capturingmagic.me in the podcast section. I'm Steph, and I am joined by my co-host, Brittney Leavitt, who can be found at britishdesigns.com, where she creates digital scrapbook supplies. Hi, Britt.
Hi, Steph. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. We also have joining us today for the first time, Carol, who is the owner of MouseScrappers.com. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Thanks
for having me.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to be able to share with our listeners everything that you have going on over there. So it'll be a fun discussion today. Let's tell our listeners just a little bit about you. You're the owner of MouseScrappers.
Yeah.
Yes. And are you a digital scrapbooker as well? What do you mostly consider yourself, I guess?
I was a paper scrapper years ago. I mean, it's not something I did a lot of. I wouldn't consider myself like an expert, but I have tons of supplies. You know how it goes. But I got into digital, I think, in 2009, and I haven't gone back to paper since.
Wow, that's great. And you, let's see, we do need to note, though, that MouseScrappers is for paper and digital scrapbookers, right?
It is. I created it for a resource, really, because I don't consider myself a very good scrapbooker, and I get overwhelmed with choices. And when I was trying to find an idea for something and I couldn't find it, the site is, well, I guess we'll get into that in a little bit, but it's a place where people can go, and whether you paper scrap or digi scrap or a hybrid, you can go bam, bam, bam. Oh, I can find a page for, the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland. So
all of the
it's open
resources.
So it's open to anybody.
That's perfect. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about mostly today is MouseScrappers and why and how it got started, and then everything that there is, because there is a ton of stuff going on at that site. It's a busy place.
Yeah.
So let's jump into it then, and tell us first. Let's hear Brittney, and tell me how the two of you became acquainted with each other, because I know that you know Carol very well. Carol and I have met once, but I don't know her as well as you do.
Well, we've only met in person a few times, but way back in the day when we were there, we had like a small digital scrapbooking community at the Diz at dizboards.com, and we were doing some challenges and things there, but we outgrew it, and we're using it in a way that the Diz just wasn't super comfortable with, so we needed to find a new place. And I had received an email from Carol saying, I started this site called MouseScrappers. You need to come check it out. It's really fun. It's a place to put all your layouts so that, if you're looking for a specific type of layout, you can go and be inspired by the other places. And I thought that sounded really cool. But then when we needed a new home, basically, for Disney digital scrapbookers, I said, Carol, can we come to your site and do challenges, and I can bring all these people with me who are, looking for a place. And she was like, sure. And so we just kind of went from there, and Carol just welcomed us, and the site kind of took on a really exciting life. I mean, it was right when right when you had first kind of started it, that all that happened.
Yeah, it's funny that the
Am I remembering the story
right?
right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I started working on it around March, and I think this was 2009. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know Britt personally. Like, I participate in some challenges and stuff, and I bought some of her products. And I would write to people and say, oh, their layout. I'd see it on, Diz or Facebook or something. I'd say, gosh, this is so neat. Can you maybe share that with our community? This site that I created. And I knew Britt was super busy. So I figured, I have one chance to write her and say, gosh, if you ever have time, I know you're super busy, but if you ever have time, could you maybe share some of your stuff on this MouseScrappers site? And I didn't hear back from her for like a week. You don't know how much I'm like, oh, shoot, I said something wrong or something like that. I know. And
I was just busy. You're right.
Yeah. And then she wrote to me, and I could just hear the tears behind her words, just because of the issues with that it didn't work out with the other site. And she said,
they didn't like me there, and I got banned, and it was like a big drama thing that we don't need to get into. But
yeah, we don't need.
They banned me for life, and it was out of a shock out of nowhere, and it was totally unwarranted, like just for no reason. And so I was just so upset and looking for a place that we could go and like just have a positive situation, and I was so upset. So, and then luckily I had just gotten this email from Carol. So,
and it's funny just the timing on that, because it was so ironic. And I think at that point, I think we had like 100 members, and then Britt came in. That was like September of 2009, and it went from 100 to 200, like literally overnight. And then now, that was the floodgates, and people just started coming over, and now we have 3,000 members,
which is wonderful. That's just wonderful.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
it was just all the right timing. It was sort of fate, I think.
yeah. And then we had a chance to meet like in May of the following year in 2010, and we've met on both coasts now.
Oh, fun.
Which is fun.
We shared a hotel room in Disney World. I mean, we jumped right into being friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, the loves of Disney and digital scrapbooking coming together. It's like you were meant to be friends, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Although she's way more talented than I am.
Oh,
so
that's not true.
All right, so tell us a little bit about, I know that you've got some forums and galleries and things like that going on, over at MouseScrappers. Tell us other things that you have going on and what kinds of, because it's a huge resource. If somebody's working on scrapbook layouts or photo books for Disney, any of the Disneys, it's a great resource for people to get ideas of digital layouts, paper layouts, photo books. I mean, I've seen just tons of stuff there.
Yeah. We do have, different pieces to the site. I mean, the forum is really where all the activity takes place. And we have the forums that are divided up into all the different parks worldwide, and each forum has subforums. So like there's Disney World, and under that's Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney Studios, Animal Kingdom, and then each forum of those has a subforum for, Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, and then under that is threads for each attraction, restaurant, venue, whatever. And it took a while, and Britt knows, to kind of train people. In some of our other, favorite Digi sites, if they post a layout, it just goes in the gallery. But whenever we have, a challenge or whatever on MouseScrappers, we kind of train people, okay, well, post it also here so that we can come back and look at your layout when we need to. So like I can go, bam, Epcot, bam, Mexico, bam, San Angel, and get an idea for a layout. But that's like where the core activity takes place in those forums. We also have a bunch of challenges.
So if somebody wants to participate in a challenge, where do they need to go?
On our homepage, we have a challenges forum, and it's probably about halfway down the page. And there's subforums there. I think we have probably 8 different types of challenges.
There's like 10, I think.
Yeah, they 10.
A lot of different kinds of challenges.
4, 5, 6,
They're so
7,
fun.
10, yeah, there's 10. And some, I knew, like when I started the site, I knew I wanted, I wanted forums that are organized. And over the years, people said, hey, can we have like a challenge for this? And I'm like, sure, let's try it out. And if it doesn't work, we can try something else. It's kind of neat to, be the CEO of your site and say, sure, let's try it. And, some of them, they worked for a while, the challenges, and some didn't, and they're kind of quiet. The telephone challenge was really big for a while, but that's been a little quiet for about a year.
You used to not be able to even get in on that. Like it was going so fast. It was hard to like get a spot, because on that one you had to like sign up for a spot so that you could be in it. And I remember it used to be hard to get a spot, but sort of like what people are into. And one of the things I love about the challenges at MouseScrappers is it's all just member run. Like there are admin that you have that I know help organize things, but like anybody can sign up to host a challenge. Anybody can like suggest a certain type of challenge. Like it's all just whatever everybody wants to do. It's not like only designers are allowed to host or, stuff like that. Like anybody can do it.
Yeah, anybody can do it. And I remember when on another site, when people were asking for volunteers for like a weekly challenge, how I was so scared to volunteer to challenge. And in retrospect, I'm like, it's easy. It's no big deal. Anybody can do it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to you could have any sort of subject you want. You don't have to offer a prize. A lot of people like to. It's certainly not a requirement. But we have, like 10 different challenges. But I think the most popular ones are the weekly challenge, the template challenge, the kit challenge, photo scavenger hunt challenge. Oh, and then the speed scraps.
Oh, yeah. Those are super popular.
Yeah. And what are the speed scraps?
Well, it's funny because we get really busy twice a year because we have a marathon. We have a big marathon in January, so we just had that a few weeks ago. And then another smaller one in the summer. I like to call it a mini marathon, like Minnie Mouse. But I think we've had 3 years of these marathons, and just people come out of the woodwork like, I need to do a book and I haven't gotten to it. And we have, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, each day has, 5 or 6 events. And if you complete half the events, you get a silver, half marathon goodie bag. And then if you complete all of them, you get like a full marathon goodie bag. And I have a wonderful person who is now on Britt's team as well, Melinda, who has organized this the last 2 years. And she does a fantastic job. And she really takes all the stress off of me. I can just sit back and enjoy. Well, not quite, but I have a lot of work to do on it too. But it's amazing how many people just they really work hard and they get through a lot of these speed scraps. And I'm like so impressed. And it's really fun because people get in the chat room and they talk about, I'm so exhausted, but it's still fun.
Yeah. Do you have a newsletter that people can sign up for where they can hear about all of these kinds of events?
We do. And I actually am not always real good about sending out my newsletter, and I could use some help if anybody's out there and getting word out like this. I'm better on the forums and on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page. But yeah, we do have a newsletter, and there's a way to sign up on our homepage.
Okay.
I love one of the great things about the speed scraps at MouseScrappers is that I think on normal speed scraps like other sites, you have to finish within an hour, which makes it a really speedy speed scrap. But MouseScrappers is a little bit more laid back. You usually have a few hours after the last instruction has been given, and then especially during the marathon, to get the prize, usually you have a few hours, but then to get the goodie bags, you have the whole weekend, right? To get all the pages done.
Yeah, we're not, I wouldn't say we're more lazy, but we give a little more time.
We're more loose. Yeah, we're more loose with the term speed scrap.
Yeah.
Hey, getting a lot of layouts done in one weekend is speed for me.
For sure.
For sure.
Well, and people who do all of them, they complete, like 30 plus layouts in a weekend. And it's like a lot of people do that. Like, wasn't it like over 60 people completed the whole thing this last time or something like that?
It was a lot of them, and
it was a lot.
I don't know I forget what the final count was.
I know. Melinda told me, and I was in awe because I couldn't believe that many people did 30 plus pages. Like that's crazy.
Wasn't it? I thought it was 16 was the total number of scraps, because I know I did.
Oh, maybe I'm doubling it. Yeah. I'm doubling it. But yeah, still, that's a ton of layouts. I can't do that many. I don't even try to do that many.
Well, you're busy with Scarlet.
Yeah.
I'm lucky if I can do half of it, honestly.
Yeah. The half marathon.
I'm a very slow scrapper, and I tend to get a lot of messages. Let's see, that was my phone again. Emails. So a lot of people say, "Oh, how do you do this?" And I can't get into this, so I was happy I got half done.
Yeah, that's great. Pretty remarkable. Yeah. So have you timed those to match up with the Disney World Marathon and the Run Disney events too? I mean, it kind of sounds like
it
almost.
Yeah, someone recommended that, I think like 2 years ago. I was like, hey, let's time it with the marathon at Disney World. And this year it didn't time with the Disney World one, but there was a Tinkerbell marathon. I think that's what they called it at Disneyland that particular weekend. It's not always, but we kind of had fun with that.
The time of year. Yeah, this is more my kind of marathon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
This is a marathon I could enjoy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And for those who don't know, I guess we should maybe say what a speed scrap is. Like, basically, for an hour, every 10 minutes, the host, whoever's hosting the speed scrap, gives an instruction on something to do with your layout, like rules, basically, that your layout needs to incorporate. And then after the hour is up and you've given all of your 7 steps, then they have that remaining time to finish up their page and post it and all that stuff. And then usually, especially during the marathon, you get a prize for every speed scrap you complete from whoever's hosting. And then, like we were saying, you can do the whole or half marathon and get a goodie bag as well. And I know that these goodie bags are intense. Like, you get a lot of stuff. Like, I donated. Lots of designers donate for these goodie bags, and maybe Carol, you can say what was in the whole goodie bags. But I know I donated like coupons and freebies and all kinds of stuff. So you get a lot of good stuff. And so. Yeah. Anyway, and then, usually, during the first hour, there's also a chat in the chat room where everyone's talking and not really scrapping as much as they're just yakking, and the chat can get really fun and a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
I always like to chat.
We for sure had so many wonderful designers contributing to the goodie bags. I did get the silver bag. I didn't get the gold. So I still need to get a list from Melinda, and she's just been so busy, but she needs to I want to hear who everybody, because just, I don't get everything that comes to the
I think
site.
you should get everything as the owner and CEO. I feel like you should get the full goodie.
You don't have to scrap to get the full goodie bag as the host and the
Well, but it's only fair,
Whatever. I say you
I
can
think
have
that's fair.
But I did want to send a thank you. Like, I sent a thank you to everybody I knew who donated to the silver. And I still need to get a thank you for everyone that donated to the full. And I know just opening the silver, it's like, wow, it was like, unzip this, unzip that, unzip this. It's, oh my goodness, this is so neat. So
lots of fun stuff.
And Melinda does a really great job of encouraging everyone to be really appreciative and thank the designers, because I asked Melinda, I'm like, did you tell everyone to like email me and thank me? Because all of a sudden I was like flooded with all of these amazingly kind emails of, oh, thank you so much for the donations and I love it so much. And I got them like all just coming in and I was like, Melinda, what do you do? But everyone is so sweet, and it's one of the great things about MouseScrappers is I feel like it's such a positive, sweet, kind community. I don't know because I'm not behind the scenes, Carol, but I just don't feel like there's like as a lot of drama and like arguments or anything. It's so positive and happy there.
it is. And we're small compared to other, Disney fan sites and other DigiScrap sites. But what's neat about it is and I should knock on some wood here, that we haven't really had an issue with, flamers. People that someone says, oh, I like the color purple, and somebody says, oh, why do you like the color purple? Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
But we haven't had any of that. And if somebody says, well, where do I get started? A lot of people will jump in and say, oh, you could try this, or point them to some helpful threads where they can get more info. Mm-hmm. And it's nice because I can't read every question and every post that comes every day. And it's nice that, the rest of the community pitches in to help.
Yeah, for sure. So you have a team that's working behind the scenes with you as well to make sure that everything gets pulled off like it needs to be.
It's a small team. Of course, Heather. Heather is wonderful. I need like 5 of her, but she does a lot for the site, keeping things in the right place, and she makes sure we have and I know she mentioned just on one of your previous shows, and thanks for the shout out, by the way. DigiScrap product links, where different items that designers make. They're all organized by topic, princess kits, pirate kits. She keeps those all in the right place, and she's an expert on characters. It's just wonderful to have on the team. And I have a couple moderators, Andrea, who does a lot for our Facebook page, and Disney Baby. And then we have a shop too, and several designers in there. But we're a small team.
And you stay busy.
But I stay busy.
That's good. Tell us about some of the meetups that you have done with MouseScrappers.
Well, I've had both official meetups and then casual ones. It's funny, the first person I met from MouseScrappers was Kathlena, is her login name, but her name's Nancy, and I met her in January of 2010. So it's like, oh, that's the first person I met from the site. It was kind of neat. But our official first meetup was in August of 2010. And I met a bunch of people over at Disneyland. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch. There's probably like 4 of us. That was after I met Britt. But Andrea, Tanya, I've met Tanya a bunch of times now. Jan, who's Quilty Mom. Lisa, which is Chef Minnie Mouse. We met at Disneyland, and that was really fun. And Britt and Tanya surprised me with enough money to buy my own annual pass.
Yeah, everybody. It was Carol's birthday, and they were meeting up to get together for that. And so I secretly messaged as many people in the community as I possibly could and said, let's all donate like $5 and buy Carol her next annual pass, because I knew she was going toward that. And right? Is that?
Yeah, I actually hadn't even had an annual pass.
Oh, that's right. That's why I couldn't remember. We could not believe that she didn't have an annual pass. Like, it was like crazy.
She lives, because you're in Southern California. You're nearby.
And she was going so much. So we thought, okay, well, if she turns her ticket there into the park, turns it into an annual pass, like, this is how much we'll need. And everybody sent me all their money, and then we sent it all to Tanya so she could give it to her there. And I wanted to be there so bad when you got it. I wasn't able to be there, but that was fun little sneaky project.
Oh, and Tanya recorded me opening the envelope in front of the castle. And I didn't know she was filming. She posted on like YouTube or something. Like, well, I looked silly, but it was
cute.
Fun.
It was cute.
What a fun memory.
And then we had our first meet on the other coast in October of 2010. And Britt and I were, it's funny because I came across our email threads recently, and we were like planning all this. Oh, we could do this. Oh, let's do this. I mean, we were getting excited about stuff we could do. Yeah. And then she's like, well, I got to tell you, I haven't told everybody yet, but I'm pregnant. And so that kind of changed, some things. But that meet, I went over because I noticed there's a bunch of people happen to be planning to go to Disney World in October. So I thought, well, if I go over there, I can meet a bunch, and we'll call it a meet. We'll meet here and there, and because it was a loosely scheduled meet. And then Britt and her moms, we all stayed together at Pop Century, and it was.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we kind of like let people like host a dinner or host a meal or host a little meet of whatever they wanted to do. Like, people kind of signed up for what they wanted to host, like I'm like, and then whoever could come would come. It was just sort of a loose thing. Like, we weren't all together all the time or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone was kind of there with their families, and so.
Yeah. So we, like Julie, who's Lyrial, she said, oh, let's have a Dole Whip meet. That was during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. And that was really neat. Got to meet Natalie from PA, and Heather finally. It's weird because you feel like you know people from meeting them, talking to them online.
Yeah, it's the truth.
And sometimes I realize, gosh, I've never met these people in person, but it's really great once you do have a chance to meet them in person. That was the first time I saw Heather. And Lisa, Chef Minnie Mouse, met her on both coasts. And Britt and I, we met at Joe, I think it was, at Kona Cafe.
Yeah, it was just the 3 of us. It was so fun.
Yeah.
So it was just all these little events that turned into like this awesome weekend, and we got to meet so many of the people that we've talked to. And I know, Steph, you probably can relate to this because you just got to go and meet a bunch of people at Disneyland that you've known online as well. So it's just a fun thing to do. And I feel like it was just it was a lot of organization and getting that all figured out, but it was so fun. So fun.
Yeah. And then the following year, we did a more organized meet. Since it went, pretty well the first time, and I wanted to have a little more, because we threw that together kind of the last minute. But for the following year, and Britt, I couldn't go because she just had the baby and all.
Yeah, I just had a little baby.
But we did a land and sea meet, which was fun. I took my sister-in-law, and we spent the whole time together, like a core group of us. And it was during free dining, which is my favorite promotion of the year that Disney offers. And we just had a great time, like touring all 4 parks, and then we went on the Disney Dream for 3 nights.
Oh, fun.
And yeah, it was the first time only time I had ever been on the Dream, so that was really neat.
A lot of fun. So do you do any scrapping events too while you're there, or is it mostly just Disney related with people that you know from scrapbooking?
It's funny because I remember when Britt and I were talking about doing the first one over in Florida, we were like, okay, we can get one of the, because I'm Disney Vacation Club too, and I'm like, oh, I might have enough points to get one of their grand villas, and then we can have people come over and we can do little scrapping at night and stuff. That didn't happen, but
I know, but I still want to do that. Every time I think about it, I'm like, that would be so awesome.
the thought of it is like, sounds really fun. But then, you want to do that, but then people also like the park time. So you have to kind of.
It would be hard for me to pull myself away from the park.
Yeah.
Even as much as I love scrapbooking, but I know that the scrapbooking could be done at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. We got to meet people from, like overseas. Like we met Emma, who is from England. We met
Anna
Carroll, who's from Brazil. So, and they were all there that October. It just happened to be that a lot of people were coming in October. And then I think some people arranged their trip in order to meet with us, but it just happened
like
so
Heather.
fast. Yeah, Heather.
We had to twist her arm really hard to get her to meet us.
I'm sure we did.
Like, okay, I'm coming.
Yeah, and then she came the following year, and she talked Tanya into coming. That was
how fun.
Her first trip in many years over there.
So it was just fun. It was like crazy to meet people from all over the world. And I felt like I'll never meet these people again, like they're from England or whatever. And we got to meet them that fun weekend. And we would have, I think the main thing I hosted was just this lunch in Epcot. And we had a lot of people turn out and had fun group pictures, and people brought their husbands, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
I think we need to do more meetups. And I know every time someone goes to Disneyland, they're like emailing Carol, and they're like, can we meet? I'm sure you get asked all the time, can you come meet me?
Yeah. And there's Tammy. I keep, one of the users, we keep missing each other. But yeah, I'm about an hour-ish away from Disneyland. So if someone comes, and someone was here just over the weekend. Oh, I missed her. But yeah, if someone comes into town, I'll say, I can come up and meet you if because you don't want to interfere on their personal time. But for a little while, if they have time to meet, it's really fun.
Yeah. And I definitely always tell people they should meet Carol, because it's like walking around the park with your own personal trivia tour guide, because she knows so much trivia and facts about the park that she's always pointing out things and telling you things, and it's like, wow, it's incredible.
Yeah. It is fun to tell people stuff I've accumulated over the years, although I wish there's so many interesting things. And I know, Britt, you're a huge fan. Steph, I know you are too, of Disneyland, because there's so much history there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm just scratching the surface of learning about Walt and everything, and I just wish I could remember it all.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because I hear so many things, but I can't remember it all. There's so much. You're right.
Yeah.
And Carol,
So much
you
information.
used to work there, right?
I did.
Long ago.
Yeah, well, during the Stone Age, no.
When it was first opened.
Yeah. And, back when I was in college, yeah, they came up to interview, which was kind of funny because I went to school in San Luis Obispo, so they came up quite a ways away to interview people for summer positions. And I had always loved going to Disneyland. I've always been living in Southern California, so when they came up and interview, I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, I'd love to work there. And since I didn't live in Orange County, I had to stay with a family friend. And it's funny because my fellow cast members, they kind of didn't really understand. It's like, don't they have jobs in San Diego? Yeah.
Not this job.
There's no Disneyland in San Diego, yeah. So it was, kind of not quite convenient as far as living situation, but it was enjoyable. And I worked at Tahitian Terrace, which is no longer there. It's now Aladdin's Oasis Tiki Juice Bar. That's when they just came out with the Dole Whips. Oh, those were so good. Still are. But
yeah.
It's one of the, when you're a cast member, you're not allowed to eat anything. They'll let you have like sodas and drinks. And when you cut pineapple, you have to sample it, make sure it's not, bad. But they did let us have Dole Whips if you work there. I don't know if that's still the case, but, that was good. One perk. And then the Plaza Pavilion, which is now Jolly Holiday Bakery. But, yeah, good memories.
That's great. You have a rich history with Disney, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So 2009 is when MouseScrappers started, which seems new, but in online world, that's like forever ago. I mean, don't you think? So tell us what are some of the things that have changed from the beginning when you started it to now?
Well, when I started it, and I can't remember if I mentioned it, but I just started with Disney World. And then when Rob said, well, what about Disneyland? You're cutting out a lot of people if you don't do Disneyland. I'm like, duh. Yeah, okay, I'll add that. Kind of forgot. Just growing, we grew a lot of the different forums, added a lot of challenges.
I've always meant to ask you, Carol, if you've ever thought, like when you first started it, did you ever think it would be what it is today? Like, did you ever think you'd have a shop and a huge challenge following and a team? And, I wonder what you envisioned, like what your goals were when you first started it as to what it has become,
It's kind of funny you mention that because when I started, I didn't look past the immediate need, which was, hey, I need an idea, and this, like, I need an idea for Journey into Imagination. That's why I started this site, because I could not come up with any ideas for that venue, and I looked all over the place and couldn't find any appropriate scrapbook pages on that. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a programmer. Duh, I could start a site on my own and make it exactly the way I want it. And I didn't think past, how long I would have this site or what exactly it would take to run this site or anything. And sometimes, yeah, it can be a little exhausting. Mm-hmm. And you have team members that, they come and go, I need to step down or whatever. And, well, I can't step down. I can't. Sometimes I want to push the little off button.
Take a break.
Yeah, to take a break. But it is funny because whenever I just get so overwhelmed, invariably, it always happens. Someone says, Carol, I'll never forget the day I came across your site, and it has just made this huge difference, and I am so thankful. Just, all the people I've met through here, they're just a wonderful community. And it's like, okay, I'll keep going. It's worth it. I'll keep going.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep.
Great. Keep plugging along.
Yeah.
So are there any other major things? I mean, did you start out with a team right from the get-go too, or is that something that you added later on?
Well, I did add all our moderators, well, all being, Heather, Jennifer, and Andrea. They've been with me from 2009 pretty much. And people have come along the way, like Melinda, and she'll help me with special events, and so there's definitely been changes as we come across new ideas and we need more help. Then we add people.
Yeah, as the needs arise.
Yeah,
that's great. So tell us a little bit about the Wish Trip books.
One of our members lives in Texas. Her name is April. There was a speed scrap one day, and we were just chatting in the chat room, and she said, "Oh, I'm listening to this radio station. It's actually Kid Craddock. I'm not familiar with the show, but I think it's syndicated over like 75 different radio stations. And this radio station, they take 40 to 50 or so families to Disney World every single year. And these families, all of them have children who have, they're either chronically ill or terminally ill or something that they normally don't get a chance to go to Disney World. Ordinarily, they can't afford it, or maybe just logistics or something. And I thought, man, that is such a neat idea. So I wrote to them and I said, hey, can we maybe, I want to help here. I've got this community of all these scrapbook people, and they're so talented, and some of them don't have their own pages to work on anymore because they've just, run out. And can we maybe create books for your families? And the guy I wrote to wrote back, and he was interested, and he had me propose an idea, and I was probably getting in way over my head because in retrospect I'm like, wow, 40 or 50 families, that's like way too many. But he didn't get back to me, and it like broke my heart because I was so motivated and I had all these ideas. And then later that year I realized, well, maybe we could just start small and see how it goes with families that go to Disney World or Disneyland, through Make-A-Wish or other type wish organizations. And I looked on Diz because they have a great forum for families with, kids with special needs, planning how to get there, what to do. And I contacted one of the people through there and said, hey, I have the site. Do you know a family that we can get in touch with that we could maybe make a book for them? And she was so excited. She wrote me back with several names, and I reached out to one of them, and it just kind of went from there. We have made books for 3 families now. It takes a long time, unfortunately, to make a book. I've had like 70 volunteers worldwide that help me with these books.
Wow.
And we aim for about 100 pages per book, and it's all custom. We work with the family, upload their photos. We have a share site with Shutterfly. Cynthia, one of my team members, has been really great. She's a Shutterfly guru. She's been able to coordinate this project with them. So far I haven't had to pay for the books. They've been kind enough to donate them for me.
Yeah, I love that Shutterfly donated the books after we finished them. That was neat.
Because I realized, like each book, because, you can't have the family pay for it, but each book is about, $100 or so. And one of the families, their little son, Noah, they were such a special family. And unfortunately, Noah passed away like 5 months after their Wish trip. But the mother, Nicole, had such great stories. Even though their trip was in 2009, she remembered it so well that I couldn't. Shutterfly has like 100-page limit per book, and I was trying to keep it within that constraint, and I couldn't cut out any of their stories, so I let it spill over. I think we did 140 pages. But most of these families go to this wonderful resort called Give Kids the World, and Britt was one of my volunteers for Noah's book, and she did this beautiful 2-page layout, because they have this Castle of Miracles, where they have a gold star for each one of their kids that come stay at this resort. Now all their accommodations, all their food, all their attraction tickets, they're all covered by this resort, and it's only for Wish families. But they put this gold star on the ceiling of this castle, and you just go in. I've been there twice, and no photo can really capture how just amazing it is. It's just glittery. And Britt did this wonderful 2-page layout for Noah's family. It's like, oh my gosh, this is just gorgeous.
It was special to work on these books. I feel like it was probably one of the most, for sure, the most meaningful scrapping I've ever done. And I remember when I was signing up, my initial reaction was, I don't want to cry. I feel like every time we talk about this project, I cry.
Know. Yeah. There's tears coming out of. It's good we're not on video.
When I was signing up for these books, my initial reaction was I didn't want to sign up for Noah's book because his pictures were too hard for me to look at, knowing that he had already passed away. I wanted to work on one of the other books because I was like, that's just too sad. I can't work on that book. But then I thought, no, I feel like that's the book I need to work on. Like, it just called to me. So Carol broke it up where somebody was in charge of each day coordinating the pages for that day's pictures. And so I took one of the days, I don't remember which day it was, and helped coordinate, getting all the pictures from that day scrapped from various people. And every time I worked on the pages, every time I got to, I felt just honored to be trusted with these pictures and scrap them. It was so meaningful and so special. And I can't wait to work on another book when the time comes. And it was just special. And every hour I spent working on that was an honor for me. I felt like I was just it was so meaningful. It was so wonderful to work on that project.
Yeah. It's very fulfilling.
Yes, so fulfilling. And it was such a great thing to know that we were giving this family this record of this trip that they could remember,
Yeah, and for this particular family, they lived in Canada, and they recently relocated to Orlando just so that they can go volunteer at Give Kids the World on a regular basis. So,
how wonderful.
Yeah, and I got to meet them November 2011 at Epcot. I met the mother and her daughter.
That's really neat.
Britt also did this wonderful cover with clouds, and they had the family on the front. Well, 2 covers for each book, so it was really neat. Yeah.
It was fun. And Carol asks designers, the way it all works is she has contacted designers and said, if people own the kits, that from if they own your kits already, are they, can they use them for these books, so because not all designers allow, scrapping for others with their kits, but if we've gotten permission from them, like I told Carol, I was like, absolutely, you can use, anybody who owns my kits that already has them can use them for these Make-A-Wish books. That's absolutely fine with me. So we're careful to keep the pages private. They don't go into galleries or anything like that because, we're not scrapping it to get attention from these pages.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even see it, all the pages for the book because it's just not posted publicly. So
yeah, in fact, probably when the community hears this podcast, probably a lot of them won't even know that we ever did this because it's nothing that, like, you can't go to the homepage and see, what we've done. It's all been, I don't want to say under the table, but just not publicized. Yeah.
And we were careful to just have people involved who were, experienced enough, I want to say, I guess, to scrap a book that would be good to give to someone else. Not that we don't want people who are brand new to do it, but, we have to be careful because it's for someone else. And
I just wanted to be able to, give the family their privacy.
Yeah.
And not, share it with the entire world, have it out there public. So I would just ask people, can you help me with this project? And ideally, with 70 volunteers, if we have a 100-page book, then if everybody could do, 1 or 2 pages, then we could whip it out. That's the theory.
I know. You think that sounds like, everybody could do 2 pages in like a week. And you think that we'd be done with a book in a week, but it took so much more time than that.
Yeah, it did. What happens is the families, they each get a week at Give Kids a World, and they get to go to the different parks. And of course, everybody goes to Disney World, but they may go to Universal Studios or Gatorland, or I don't know, maybe Legoland might be a choice now. I haven't heard anything lately, but there's other places, and there's things to do on the property of the resort as well. Like they have a 9-hole mini putt course. They have things to do every night. Like they have Halloween every single week, Christmas every single week, because some of the kids, they don't, unfortunately, make it to the next, Christmas or whatever. So they have these things so that they can experience it. And it's those pages where we need the most help, the things that aren't Disney, because people aren't quite, familiar with, their mascots or whatever. So that's been the challenge in the past. But I have a few ideas that hopefully can make it a little more fun.
So if people are interested in joining this effort and want to help scrap, what would you tell them to do?
Well, they could send me a private message on, if they're already a member of MouseScrappers, they could just PM me, or there's, the contact us link at the bottom of our forum, and just send me a message.
Okay. And I know you said that you are getting ready to work on some more as soon as you get some families lined up. Yeah,
and what I was thinking, once we do get, the family lined up, and I think we're going to get everything in place before we start having the volunteers come in. But what sounds fun to me is to kind of cross this effort with the marathon-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody loves the camaraderie of that. So I was thinking, well, maybe if we divvy up all the tasks and then, meet in the chat room and chat about, the family or what we're working on or whatever. And
great idea.
See if we can get these done faster so that we can help more families.
Yeah.
That would be my vision.
Like a Make-A-Wish weekend or something where we all
exactly.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Really good idea, yeah. I like that idea a lot. It would be fun.
I know. I'm excited. I'm like, hey, when is it? Tell me when. Let's do it.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
So fun.
So fun. Okay, Britt, is there anything else that we've missed as we've been talking that we need to hit on?
I don't think so. Is there anything else that you could think about that we should talk about MouseScrappers, Carol?
I know you've touched on it before, but like each forum has, photos at the top. And Jan wanted to add titles, because I know she had gotten titles from another site, which I think unfortunately closed recently. I'm not familiar with the site, but title
ideas or.
Yeah, she during the marathon, she's always like, I need a title for a carousel or something. And
good idea.
She wanted to maybe have a forum, so I made a forum for her for titles. And also, it's interesting and sorry I get off on tangents here, but when you're in the chat room and you just talk to these different people, it's interesting how much people have in common. And during one of the chats, we realized that several of our community have kids with special needs, and I'm like, would it be helpful, because they're like, what's good for this? And someone would answer, and this is all during the chat room. I'm like, would it be helpful to have a special needs forum where you guys could, because this is a really good conversation. I'd like you to keep it going. So, I had it done before we were done with the chat. I made a new forum. So, every now and then we'll throw up a new forum. So I'm hoping people will start populating that. I was thinking about making a forum for people who have had a loss in the family, because we've unfortunately had a number of members who have lost loved ones. As I think that would be a good place to kind of be able to share, feelings, what you're going through, reach out for help.
Yeah.
It's a great community. That's the great thing is it's based on scrapbooking and specifically based on Disney scrapbooking, but it's become a real family and a real community of friends. And the wonderful thing I feel like about MouseScrappers is that I have not found on other sites is it's so open and welcoming. It's not like a community where you feel like you're not maybe allowed, or you're like the new person, so everyone's sort of like looking down at you a little bit. I feel like old, new, whatever, everybody's nice to everybody, and the more the merrier. I found in other websites certain comments I would make, I would get kind of just a cold reaction, and didn't really know what I had done, and I just feel like everyone's so nice at MouseScrappers. It doesn't matter if you've been there since 2009 or that you just signed up last week. Everybody's just happy to have everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a more of a rosy view of it, because but I don't know. No. Carol, do you agree with that?
I agree. I mean, and it's like, I'd like to take credit for it, but I can't, because it's just the people that come, and a lot of them just stay over the years.
Well, I think that the owner of the site, though, really does a lot to set the tone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to keep that tone going. So really, it's okay if you take the credit for that.
Well, as you guys could probably hear through talking with Carol on this show, even, how sweet Carol is, and how, if the owner is like a brat, it's going to be a little bit different tone. But Carol is sweet and has set a very friendly and happy tone there, and it continues.
Yeah, I've been a lurker there for a long time. I've never come out and posted at all, though, just because I am scared to death of forums. So,
are you?
Yeah, but I will say that MouseScrappers is one of the least intimidating forums that I've been on, and I've thought several times, I really should post, but I just, I think you have one bad experience and it can really warp your
I agree.
Your confidence for a really long time. And so even, I'm comfortable with with where I am in my digital scrapbooking and, where I am in the Disney community, but I am terrified of forums. So
Yeah.
Oh.
One of these days I'll come post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. Just people like us.
Yep. People just
And you have
like
a blog
me.
too, right, Carol? We haven't talked about the blog and what you've been doing with that.
Yeah, we do have a blog, and you're like the expert on blogging. I'm not.
Oh no.
Not that not that good at it. But yeah, we do have a blog, and I actually I was thinking of having like some guest bloggers or something just to get some regular content on there.
Yeah, it's not real regular or consistent or anything, but I love the content that has come up. There's great things that I've learned, about like Disneyland Paris and
that's
little tips on cookie cutters, just stuff like that. It's like so fun to like, oh, that's awesome. I love it.
One person who has been regular, Hugh Allison, he actually lives in the UK, and he worked at Disneyland Paris, and it's neat because he compares Disneyland Paris with either Disneyland or Walt Disney World, and it's so interesting to read his articles because it's like, man, I want to go over there now just to see how it differs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's do a meetup in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
That would be nice.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. So, okay, is there anything else that we want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Don't think so.
Okay. Just want to make sure before we move on. Let's move on then and do our picks with Pixie Dust. Britt, do you have one for us?
I do. My pick this week is an app called Find My Friends. Do you guys use Find My Friends at all?
I don't.
Okay. So it's an app that is by Apple. They made it. It's not part of your operating system. You have to download it, but it's free. And it works to track friends using their GPS so you can see where they're at, which I know sounds super creepy at first, but hear me out. So this is how we use it. Well, Josh and I use it all the time. We always are able to find each other, so I can like see if he's still at the store or if he's on his way home or whatever, But at Disneyland, this is how we used it. The group of us that were there, we all signed up for Find My Friends. It just works through your Apple ID. You sign up, and then you can give friends temporary access to find you while you're on vacation. So we signed up for all the people who had iPhones, and then said, that the location sharing will expire at the end of the week. So after the vacation's over, then you don't see them anymore. But it's great because if we were at Disneyland and we were split up, I could just open my app, find my friend and see, okay, where's Christian? Where's my brother? And I would look and it would show me, okay, I can see that he's, outside Pirates of the Caribbean, and I could walk over and find him. And, at Disneyland where the network is really busy, it's not always super reliable, but it's pretty awesome, pretty amazing, actually. How detailed it is to where they're at and how accurate it was for us. And it was just a good way to like not constantly have to be texting each other. Okay, where are you? Now where are you? Like if you're not all together all the time, which we weren't.
That's
never.
what I think would be nice about it is save you a text,
Yep.
Because you're trying to walk and text at the same time. That can be dangerous.
Absolutely. And if you have teenagers who have phones,
Yes.
And they like to split off, while they're at Disney, then it's a good way to like be able to see where they're at. And and then there's also different things that we didn't end up using, but you can set up where if they leave a certain place, you'll get a notification saying, okay, they've left, they're on their way to you or whatever. So that would be nice. Like if they're at the hotel and you want a notification every time they leave the hotel, then you could set that up.
Oh,
and then you'd know that they had left.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
For
It's
tracking
awesome.
my teenagers. I love that idea.
It's good to use in everyday life for sure, but it's also very nice while we're at the park. So that was one of the things we used that we really liked, and it's free. So,
But just for Apple?
well, it's
iPhone?
made by Apple, so I don't think that there is an Android version because it's find like through Apple.
There might be somebody else that's made one for Android.
I know there's a app called Find My Phone or something like that. So maybe there's an Android version of that. I'm not really aware, but for now, this one is just for Apple.
Okay. All right. Carol, do you have a pick for us?
I do. I kind of have two. Can I have two?
Yes, we'll let you.
Well, one, I know you mentioned in a previous show, just MouseWait. I don't use a lot of apps on my phone, but I do use that for checking wait times at Disneyland. So if anybody's going to be going to Disneyland, and I know that there's other ones that Disney has, but I think you have to have Verizon for that. So, but this one works with like Android too.
Yeah.
Or I have Sprint. But it's been pretty accurate, so that's like a must-have if you go to Disneyland.
That's good. They also have a Disney World version as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and I noticed, like, I'm on their Facebook page, and Britt, I don't know if you heard, but somebody posted on MouseWait saying that they're going to enforce fast pass times at Disneyland. Yeah.
No. I heard that starting in just like a week or two.
No,
is that right, Carol? Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up soon, and it's funny because I shared that out on our Facebook page in MouseWait or MouseScrappers, and all these people said, no, they've already done that. Sorry, Disneyland, just to clarify.
Yeah.
So I'm devastated right now. That's really for sure happening. It's not like a rumor.
Well, what I saw on MouseWait, and
it's rumor enough that it's coming down.
Yeah, I mean, they do it at Disney World already, so I know that. But I thought we had more time because of it's going to take them a while to put in, the infrastructure for the
RFID stuff.
Yeah, so I thought we had more time.
I was hoping we had another year, but
I know.
That is really going to change touring plans.
It totally changes your touring. It does.
Yeah.
Because before we knew that they didn't enforce it, we used to run around like crazy people. And now I feel like we're going to go back to running around like crazy people.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know.
Oh, well. What are you going to do?
I know. And especially when the parks are so close like that, and you can, because when I was there just a few weeks ago, we went in the morning, we were in California Adventure because we wanted to do Radiator Racers and get our fast pass for Radiator Racers. And then we went and got a fast pass for Tower of Terror as well. And the return time was, middle of the day. Well, for the middle of the day, we were over in Disneyland. And then we came back to California Adventure at night to do dinner in World of Color and hit those couple of rides that we had fast passes for. Well, that totally changes being able to do things like that if they're going to enforce the wait times.
Yeah.
Sad. Yeah. We'll have to mourn that loss.
I know.
Big bummer.
And then the other one, like you wrote me earlier today and said that I could pick a book because you picked.
I have picked books before.
I laughed. The book you said you picked before the poster art.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, I bought one and I want to buy another one because I want to cut it up and
I know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because I know that they're gonna be super expensive whenever they go out of print. So
yeah.
But even if you bought just one poster, like a real poster thing, it's like $35 or $40.
It would almost pay for itself, right?
Well, yeah, you can get the book at Barnes & Noble or Amazon for $25, $26.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, that wasn't my book, but
right.
I had to concur with your pick there.
Thank you.
But my book this is how it all started. My whole interest in Disney history was a book, and it's unfortunately no longer in print. It's called Disneyland Inside Story by Randy Bright. It was written by a man who worked for the company for, I think, like 30 years. And I only learned within the last year he was unfortunately killed in a bicycle accident. So there was a plan to reprint the book, but that unfortunately got shelved.
Oh.
But it came out in 87, and when I bought it, I couldn't put it down. I was shirking all my responsibilities, didn't want to study. I was just looking at this book. And I remember I told Brittney, I told Josh about it. I don't know if he wrote it down. I don't know if he ever looked to
I don't know if he did either. I do
get
remember
it
that.
for you.
I didn't get it. So.
Okay. I do see it pop up on Amazon or
eBay, maybe?
eBay, yeah. And, it's not cheap. It might be from, 50, 70 or whatever dollars in that. But it's got so many great stories in it. And, back then, mid-'80s, this is before internet, where you could just look things up. It is it's one of those books that is a must-have if you love Disney history. So
cool.
Yeah.
Is it something that you think maybe you could get at a library?
I doubt it.
Okay, it's not that kind of book.
It's tall. It's it's
kind of like a coffee table book almost.
Yeah, like a coffee table book. It's probably 14 inches tall, hardcover. It's got a dust jacket, and I'm always careful when I handle it.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah, great picks. It sounds like a good one. I wonder if I'll ever see it. Next time I come to California, we'll have to meet up and you can bring it with you.
Oh, yeah. I would, but I'm like,
you don't dare.
I don't want to take it anywhere.
Yeah.
I might rip the dust jacket.
Looks like there's used ones on. I just looked it up while we were talking. It looks like there's used ones on Amazon for about $50, $50 to $60.
Not bad.
Not too bad. Not for a big coffee table book that's out of print. I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
It can go way up, but yeah, you can get.
Yeah, newer ones are like $150.
Wow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, my pick is an iPad app. Sorry, Android users. I always have to preface my picks.
Well, I have an iPad.
Oh, yay! Okay, good.
Don't have an iPhone.
Yeah. So it is called Castmember Publications, and it's something that's an official Disney app that's put out by Disney for cast members, and they update it every so often. I don't even know how often they update it, but the last time I got an update for it, it was all about New Fantasyland. And it's really cool because it's interactive and you can do like a 360-degree tour of all these different places in New Fantasyland. And then it has features on different cast members and different things going on in New Fantasyland. So it's something that I think hardcore Disney fans would really enjoy checking out.
Ooh, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's free, right?
Free, yeah.
Sweet.
And I was able to access it just fine, even though I'm not a cast member, but it's for cast members. So, yeah, you don't have to have any special codes or passwords or anything, but pretty cool, I think.
Very cool.
Check it out.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go around one more time and remind our listeners where we can be found. Britt.
I am at BritishDesigns.com, and that's where you'll be able to find my shop and gallery and blog and Facebook page, and all that is linked. By the time this show comes out, I guess I can talk about it. It's not out on Earth right now as we're recording, but it will be by the time the show comes out. But Celine Studios and I work together on a collaboration called Project Mouse, and it's a big, awesome thing. I don't even know where to start talking about it, but it's a brand new kind of memory keeping system solution that Krista and I have put together that allows you to scrapbook your Disney trips in the style of Project Life, pockets. I call it pocket style. And it's a huge collection, and we'll be releasing things for Project Mouse throughout the entire month. So our first release was on the 15th, and then we'll have releases every Friday for a while. We're taking a couple weeks off while Krista goes on her first trip to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And that's super exciting. She's been to Disney World lots of times, but never to Disneyland. So we'll take a couple weeks off while she's gone, and then when she comes back, we'll start pick things back up. So it's a big, exciting new thing that we're doing, and I am really, really, really excited about it.
I'm excited about it too because you sent the previews over and it's fun. Lots of really original, fun, neat things. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
See,
it's like Britt, a whole new.
Busy.
I know.
She's so busy.
Is that true or what? It's great because it's like a whole. It's not just for me. I don't know. For Krista and I both, it's more than just digital scrapbooking. It's more of like a way to really record and document your trip. So
it's something that I think digital scrapbookers could use, paper scrapbookers could use, people maybe that don't even consider themselves paper scrapbookers but like doing the pocket pages or think that they might like doing the pocket pages. It would be a great introduction into pocket page scrapping to do a Disney trip that way.
Even just a way to document your trip, even if you're not scrapbooking at all, you just want a way to like document the trip. So it's fun. It's good stuff.
It'd be super, super easy to get all of those cards, journaling cards and everything printed up.
Yep.
And then just use them.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Carol.
Well, I can be found on MouseScrappers.com. My login name is Carol C, and you can contact me with the contact us link at the bottom of the homepage. Or actually, any page.
Perfect. That's easy. Do you have anything new coming up in the next few weeks that we want to know about, or just stay tuned?
Just a few new products in the shop, but nothing like hopefully we'll get the Wish thing going by the time this airs. Hopefully we'll have nailed down a family, but yeah.
Perfect.
Our anniversary, hopefully. It should be coming up. It's kind of loose because our anniversary is really like March, but we kind of make it flow to May sometimes. But we'll probably have something big going on for our fourth anniversary.
Wow. That's super exciting, yeah. So you launched MouseScrappers right shortly after the Daily Digi launched, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because we just celebrated our 4th anniversary January 1st.
Wow, great.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be there, hanging out there more, and maybe I'll get the guts to come and post over at MouseScrappers.
Everybody's nice.
Yeah, I know. No one will be mean, right?
No.
The good thing about it, sorry, I was going to say the good thing about it, Steph, the reason I love to be involved is because it really motivates me to get my pages scrapped. It motivates me to get those pages done and share them. It's fun. I get more Disney's digital scrapbooking done when I take the time to really be involved with MouseScrappers. When I make the time, I don't always have a lot of time. But I always.
It's all about priorities, right?
Yep. I'm always glad when I do, because then I'm like, oh look, I just finished a lot of pages. So.
Well, here's one you can try, Steph. There's a template challenge. It only runs till the 15th, but Cynthia coordinated with Andrea from Little Green Frogs.
Oh, yeah.
There's a fantastic template here.
I love Little Green Frog.
Oh, I know. She's so talented.
That challenge will probably be over by the time this airs, but you can still go in and get the template. You can still go in and get the template, right? It's just they usually stay up, but they just
can't enter it anymore.
Yeah. Well, and the next one will just start. So
we always have 2 template challenges overlapping. Each one runs 2 weeks, so there's always 2 going on at once.
Oh, okay. So I have 2 weeks to get a layout done. If I were to pick up on it right at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, for a template challenge, it just runs 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The weekly challenge only runs 1 week.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
That template is way cute. You'll like it,
Yeah,
Steph.
I can see it. It's
Yeah.
I love little green frog templates. I really,
Me
really
too.
do. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you for encouraging me. I appreciate it.
Well, look forward to seeing you there.
Okay. I have to do it now. Everyone's going to be watching. So
You do.
I'm committed. All right. I am Steph, and you can find me at capturingmagic.me, where we have posts and content going up every weekday and fun, exciting things going on, all about capturing and creating magic Disney memories. So check that out. And we also want to mention the iPhone apps that this show is sponsored by, and you can find them by searching in the App Store on Capturing Magic. And if you don't find them by searching, that's because of the little glitch in the App Store. So just go to capturingmagic.me/app and use the direct link there, and that should be able to get you to the apps. So they're really great to have on hand if you want, I guess, a guide to help you remember photos, not forget photos, write down notes, and then have it all together when you go to document it and put everything together. So you can also find me at thedailydigi.com, where we are in the middle of revealing this month's DigiFiles, which is the best deal in digital scrapbooking. You can get over $50 worth of digital supplies for $7.50 a month. And that's it. So thank you both. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we will see you next time, where we will be capturing magic.